our community, our hometown. This is Kearney Live, presented by 102.7 FM and KMO-TV. Kearney Live is a close-up look at the people, places, and events that matter to you. And now, here are the hosts of Kearney Live, Mike Davis and Jim Dickerson.
That's it. That is our studio audience. Welcome to Kearney Live. I'm your host, Mike Davis, along with producer-engineer Brian Watts, the sexiest man in Kearney. We just determined that just moments ago, even though we know that there was a unanimous election that, that put you right there as the, I don't think anybody else will come close. I mean,
no, I got all 2 votes on that, so...
I think you told me last time
right.
One of those votes was your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you got to vote for yourself.
I guess
right?
you do. No, I think that's a good policy.
Okay.
The other thing, do you know what else I'm excited about, Brian?
What's that?
Jim Dickerson is here today. Yep. Mr. I'm kind of a big deal. Yes.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
But I'm over here looking for my ballots because I didn't get to vote.
Oh,
well, I don't. It doesn't
like
matter.
Shenanigans going on over here.
He's the incumbent. Look who else is here. The switcher, Mr. Producer, switched over there. There's Stacie Bratcher. Welcome to the show, Stacie. I don't know why you're here. Why are you here?
We're here to talk about the new tourism campaign with the Chamber and the Welcome Center.
That's going to be fun. I actually knew that, but I just wanted to hear you say it. So I know we're going to talk about that in a minute. I want to let folks know that
it's your wife's birthday.
It is that. Thank you for that, Jim. I was going to get to that, but happy birthday to Jeannie Davis. Yes,
I get bonus points for that one.
Happy birthday, Jeannie.
She keeps telling me. Listen, I know for a fact she and I are the same age. We graduated the same year from high school. From the same high school, by the way. I met her in 9th grade in junior high. Antioch Junior High. She was the prettiest girl in my English class.
Was?
She was then, and she is the prettiest woman I know right now. So happy birthday, honey. I am so glad to be married to you. So there you go. I got that out of the way. Thank you, Jim. You know I was sincere. She knows that.
I'm here to help.
I want to also mention, Stacie, that Eden Wooten is with us today. She's not on camera, but she's one of your many summer interns.
Only one summer intern this year, but she's from Kearney High School.
There you go. And glad to have you in here, Eden. Good seeing you. Yes, and this is what not to do on radio. We're not the example, are we? Or are we, Jim? I don't know.
We are the yes. Yes.
This is the way it's done. All right. Well, I know because Mr. Producer Brian Watts has this thing well under control. The thing I did want to mention, Jim, is that we have. Is it working?
Nope.
Well, shoot. Okay, then
let's not talk about it.
All right. All right. Well, we're testing some new technology, and I was going to mention it on the air, but if it's not working, what the heck? It worked last week, for crying out loud. What the heck? What's going on?
Yeah, we'll make it work.
All right. Well,
Brian.
No, I've got it working.
But you know what, Brian?
It is.
You better tell people now.
Well, okay. Here's what we're talking about.
Brian's
we're
sweating,
testing. We are testing a direct link, broadcast link from this show to our website. And in fact, on our website, there is a link that won't take any length to get to, and it says live stream up on our navigation bar. And I would suggest that, see, Jim's isn't working. All right, well, we'll scroll down there, buddy. I think you might have to,
We got
click on that. No, nothing going on there. So, all right. Well, we won't spend too much time on that, but it's working apparently on your iPhone, right, Brian?
Yes.
Okay.
And on the website, it looks like.
Oh, okay. Well, Jim's iPad seems to not be participating in all the fun.
So what we are learning, and I'm glad you brought this up, is we are testing it on like 38 different platform. So like we're finding out certain things are working on laptops but not on iPads, and they're working on iPads but not that. So
yes,
I think we should go back to the days where we have one TV, 3 channels, and that's it.
And and a squirrel running around a cage that generates the electricity for it.
And the
So-
aluminum foil antennas, and you have to hold your
Yes,
tongue
yes,
just right.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
That
yeah,
works.
and I remember the remote channel changer was when your dad said, "Get up and
Get
change
up.
the channel."
And you know where historical moments like that might be preserved? In a time capsule.
Oh, wow.
If only we could talk about a time capsule later in the show.
Well, let's work on that. We'll work on that.
Mike?
I just took a drink of coffee.
I know. I
It's
was
delicious.
Trying, I was
Yeah.
trying to stall.
I knew you did that. Yes, it was delicious coffee. Brian makes the coffee around here too. So,
Good job, Brian.
yeah. Anything else, Jim? Or are we leaving anything out that the folks of Kearney need to know?
The only thing, so there were some people asking questions about the event that was at the amphitheater that was postponed over the weekend. It has not, and I'm going to double check with Brian, has not been rescheduled as of yet.
Not yet that I know of.
So for those of you who are asking about that, keep watching the website and the e-news, and we'll get that information to you. That's the only really gripping thing we have as of now.
Very
I
good.
disagree.
Oh, you have other news, Stacie.
Apparently,
That's why I'm here.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
well,
let's get to it.
I
then.
wasn't going to talk about that.
Oh,
But, gee, Stacie, why are you here?
Right? You mock me. You mock me. You mock me. All right. Well, Stacie, let's get to this thing.
All right.
Visit KearneyMo.com.
Yes.
Will get you to the new website, and
That's right.
it is gorgeous.
Thank
In
you.
fact, I went out of my way to let you know. As I scrolled through this yesterday, I was just taken by it. It's really nice.
great. Thank you. Yeah, we've started a new tourism campaign at the Chamber. I don't know if people are aware, but every year people come from all 50 states and at least 40 different countries around the world to visit the Jesse James farm. They are all coming through Kearney to get there. And so we want to capitalize on that at the Chamber, and we want to let people know as they're coming what's here in Kearney. We have a lot of great shops, fabulous restaurants, great entertainment out at the amphitheater, fantastic evening events to do with the festivals and the second Saturdays and things like that. There's always something happening in Kearney. It's a great place to be. So we want to draw all those people as they come to the farm. Stay here in Kearney. Stay at our great hotels. Eat here. Spend your money here. And the way for them to do that is they have to know, right? So we're providing those ways for them to know with the Visit KearneyMo.com website, at the new Welcome Center at the Chamber office in the First Missouri Bank Building.
I was going to say, where
We're getting
is
there.
the new? I'll just sit here and wait.
And
No big
then
deal.
tomorrow, I'm going to give you a sneak preview. Tomorrow at the ribbon, or Friday at the ribbon cutting for the Welcome Center, we're going to announce a new Visit Kearney Mo app as well.
my.
So you're the first to know that will be coming in the next month or two.
So privileged.
Thank you. Yes.
The audience is excited about it. Okay, so and I'm not to be controversial, but maybe it will be. How many times have you and I and others who have been on this show spoken about what you just said
Yep.
brings people to Kearney?
Right,
Let
yes.
us just be very clear.
Yes.
That Jesse James Museum home, the museum,
Right.
all of that, I think, have such a powerful impact
Yes.
on a tourism draw to make Kearney, Missouri, a destination.
Yeah, and we're not here to debate whether
Right.
you like Jesse James or not,
Right.
whether he was a criminal or not. We're not trying to glorify Jesse James.
No.
But the fact is,
We leverage that.
Right. The people around the world are fascinated by the Wild West, fascinated by it.
Right.
And Jesse James is a major part of that history, and people want to come and learn about it. They're coming. We can't stop them unless we close down the farm, which we don't want to do. So let's encourage them to get to know us and Kearney and our businesses better.
I couldn't agree more.
I would say from being out at the Jesse James farm, it's a little bit more than just Jesse James. If
It
that
really
really
is.
upsets
No doubt.
you.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, because I know when we were out there and we were filming a thing a little while ago. Well, it's been a couple
years,
ago, I
yeah.
guess now. But I was more interested by the way the house was put together, the way the farm is, the way they
Right.
lived back then, the way
Exactly.
that we were looking at the nails because the nails aren't. I mean, obviously they didn't put it up with a nail gun and all that sort of thing, and the mere fact that the thing's still standing, and we have houses that were built 10 years ago
Right.
that are
True.
gone.
Yes.
So
True.
yeah,
They
but
just
there-
went through a major renovation project, I believe.
They were doing that while we were there, and which was nice because they had trying to repair some stuff. We kind of got a
You got in the
behind the
way.
scenes look of that was Mike, and he lost his watch in there, which is going to be a relic here someday.
Time capsule.
But
No
which
idea what
which
he's
we might
talking
be
about.
talking about later.
But out there at the
But no,
farm,
it's really cool to see the history of the farm
Right.
and how those things were put together and all that. So
exactly. Yeah.
that's all I've got to say about that.
Okay, so
Save us, Mike.
we're essentially saying, well, we're asking people to, come visit Kearney, and
Right.
when you go home, leave your money. I mean, let's be honest about it. I mean, that's, that's
Economic development.
that's crude, but it's true. It's just a crude way of saying it. And one of the reasons I'm setting this up, I said that to set this up, there are on the, I guess it would be, this is the shopping page on the website, visit KearneyMo.com. You have in alphabetical order a listing, not necessarily alphabetical order. It looked like it at first because AT&T was the first store on here. How does one or does one get their, is this a sponsorship?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It is not. So at the Chamber, we try to only promote our member businesses. However, now that we're doing tourism, we want to support and promote
Everyone.
Kearney businesses through the tourism aspect.
Yes.
And so this page, visit KearneyMo.com, includes all of our retail businesses, all of our restaurant businesses, all of our places to stay, and then any activities, entertainment type venues.
Yes.
And so we tried our best to get all of them in there. However, if you are not represented, please call the Chamber office.
Very good.
816-628-4229. Let me know
Yeah.
that we missed you. We want to add you. We want to include you.
Well, sure, and I think that's part of, as you mentioned, economic development. That everybody, wants a piece of that action.
Right.
Let's be honest about
And
it.
it is not a sponsorship. It is free.
there you
Everybody
go.
gets listed.
Well,
But I will say the thing I like about Kearney is, other than we do have a couple of staples, your box stores, if you want to call them that. However, the majority of Kearney businesses are like little mom and pop type things.
That's right.
And supported by the community and all that.
Yeah.
And doing quite well, if I might say.
Also,
so.
Jim, we talked
right.
a little bit last week about those, even the franchise type stores are
locally
operated,
owned.
yeah, by local people.
That's
So let's not get too upset about it when some of these brand names, pop up as Kearney is expanding and growing.
That's right. And even as Kearney expands and grows and those name brands do come, that creates competition. And competition is good.
Makes
and
us all
healthy.
better.
That's right. So,
Unless there were to be another radio station.
Well, I don't
that
know.
could never
They
happen.
couldn't compete, Jim. Let's just be honest about it.
Well, that's true.
It's hard.
bad.
We're at the pinnacle, Yeah. You do know. I know it. All right. So, and there, you also have events on here, and I'm on the website here. Visit Kearney, Missouri. It is visitkearneymo.com. And I look at events, and you've got, my goodness, you've got a KEC wine and chocolate tour.
Right.
It's the Kearney Economic Development Council.
Enrichment Council.
Enrichment. There you
That's
go.
right. Kearney
Sorry.
Enrichment Council.
I got the, yep.
yeah.
We had Shauna on last week. It's
There you go.
still stuck
And
in
she's
my
Kearney
brain.
Area Development
Yes,
Council.
that's right. Yes. And so that sounds exciting. You've got farmers and artisan market, the Kearney Amphitheater Summer Concert Series that goes on and on, things we know about. In June, a busy month, Farmers and Artisan Market, Jesse James Wine and Brew Festival. What is that about?
Well, so they were doing that pre-pandemic. We've not heard yet, at least I haven't, if that's still happening. I've heard that it might be being taken over by another group, possibly, but we wanted to leave it in there as a possibility for people to explore.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. What I didn't see on here was 102.7 being on here as the media source for things as people get here. that they might want to turn
That's a
on
great
their
idea.
radios and
Sounds
say,
to me like
Absolutely.
you
These
just
guys-
contacted the chamber.
Brian,
and
give me a
something
pin.
was missing.
right, let's get that done. We want to be on here.
That's a great point.
We want to be a part of this, and I think that is a place where people can get information, minute-to-minute, up-to-date stuff
You're absolutely right.
right here in
I
Kearney.
love it. We will get that added.
Right? Your hometown radio station. Isn't that right, Brian? I know.
Yeah, because we want that website to be a one-stop shop for visitors, new movers, tourists, people coming through town, so that they know where to go, what to look for.
So when you talk about the Welcome Center,
Mm-hmm.
when's it open and all that sort of
So
thing?
technically, the Welcome Center is already open because it's in the chamber office. So anybody can come walk in almost any time. We're open 9 to 4 weekdays. I know those aren't great hours for tourism, but it's only me running the shop at this point. We're hoping to hire someone to expand our hours, but that's what they are for right now. So we have been working hard over the last 12 months to create a welcome center within the chamber office. We've had interns from Northland Caps and from Kearney High School that have been helping us with that. They've done a fantastic job. We feel like we've gotten it now to a point where we're ready to invite the community in to become excited about it and help us to continue to build it from here.
I think I'm going to go down there and take a nap on that couch. I
I
just
saw
saw.
that picture. I
You
know.
see that?
That was a nap couch.
Now, for those of you who are listening,
Brian's
on
already
the-
claimed that
I was
couch,
gonna
by
say,
the way.
For those listening on the radio, you can't see the images. For those on KMO-TV, you saw that. There's the
Look at that.
couch. Look at that. I'll
That's
be
right.
down there in nap time right after the
very,
show's over.
very nice.
So at the Welcome Center, we tried really hard to capture the essence of Kearney with both its history, with the Wild West, with cattle and trains and all of that, but then also the new modern era of our businesses
course.
and where we're going and expanding. So we tried to balance that within the Welcome Center, make it accessible, make it welcoming so people want to come there, but not too welcoming so that they don't stay too long. Come get your
You
information.
better get that couch
We're happy
right.
to talk to
You need to get
you.
that couch right out of there because people are going to sit there. And,
This is not a B&B.
Right, exactly. All the kids are bringing their suitcases in, and the family just, they're just kind of hanging around.
leave.
Yes.
Now, we do have a charging station there for, if you've been traveling a while and your electronic devices are dying, come on in, take
I
a
thought you
sit.
meant for your car. I was like, well, if you don't want them to leave,
we
don't have them
we don't
plug
have
their
that,
car
but
in.
maybe Platte Clay Electric will have that soon enough. But charge your electronics, sit and figure out your itinerary for Kearney, and then go have fun exploring.
Do you have food?
We do not have food, but
That's
if,
a good way to keep people from
if
staying.
someone would like to sponsor that would be fine.
Yeah, but they might linger, and certainly don't, if I'm not mistaken, there may be a bottle of wine or two down in that office. So
There might be.
don't feed or water them, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Because they'll hang around. You don't want to part of it. Anyway, I'm looking at this. I am so impressed with the website. Visit KearneyMo.com, and because it's so thorough. I mean, you've got everything on here.
We tried.
Except for
the radio
102.7
station.
FM.
Except for
Right.
the radio. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get that fixed.
Yeah, I
but
know
the
you will.
coupon book is on there. Access to the travel and relocation guide is on there.
don't
Information
you-
about the Welcome Center is on there.
Talk about the coupon book for a minute.
Okay. What do you want to know, Jim?
I was trying to help you out.
I know the
Well,
speech.
So the
Here, let
coupon
me-
book,
It pays for itself.
If I were to get a
Right.
coupon book, what would I get?
you would get the coupon book represents over 40 different businesses with, I think, Brian, you might have to correct me on some of my numbers, but I think it's around 64 coupons that are in the book. It's anywhere from 1% off to $1 amount off of your purchase, or a BOGO idea. But most of our businesses in Kearney are represented. So the book is $15 to purchase. You can purchase it at the chamber office. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble. At Betty's Place, Tracy Tucker State Farm, Summers Pharmacy, Three Birdies, Sammy,
Here's the problem.
Dr. Sammy's.
When you start listing places,
I know, you're
gonna leave somebody.
I know.
I'm
I'm going to miss someone. I apologize. But The book is $15. There's a $5 coupon off to Price Chopper. There's coupons off to Three Birdies, to Paisley, Paisley Perk, all of the places you're already spending money. Go use those coupons. Go visit our local stores, shop local, and have fun in Kearney.
Sure.
And you make your money back.
And you make your money back and then some.
Yeah. You actually make money on it. It's profitable.
That's right. And you get to explore other businesses that maybe you're not currently using. Bulldog Rental, 9 Round, bunch of the different ones that you maybe not go to regularly.
I could probably stand to hit 9 Round.
The feeling.
Just saying.
I know the feeling.
Why are you looking down, Brian?
Speaking
nice.
of 9 Round, real quick, there
go.
are several fundraisers that are happening this week through this weekend for Alaya Campos, who's the daughter of Heather Billings, the owner of 9 Round. As most people know, she was in a horrific car accident. So if you'll go to the Chamber Facebook page, Kearney Chamber, or Kearney... What is it, Brian?
Welcome to my
Help
world.
Me. Kearney, Missouri Chamber. And you'll see the list on our most recent post of all of the options for fundraising for Alaya.
Yeah, good to know.
We wish her the best.
Yes, no doubt about that. All right, so how are we going to, we, meaning you, I don't have a mouse in my pocket or anything like that, but how are you, Stacie, going to promote this website to folks in and around the
Great
area?
question.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would start with the radio station.
I'll start with the radio station.
just
Well, in fact,
that was not a
the
setup.
radio station did just put out an article about the Welcome Center today. We created this travel and relocation guide.
Very nice.
And that has been mailed, this is really interesting, that has been mailed to Northfield, Minnesota residents and Prairie Village, Kansas residents. So we were talking about all the visitors that come to the Jesse James Farm. The one place that the most people travel from to the Jesse James Farm is Northfield, Minnesota. You ask why?
Well, it is a Jesse James connection. That was where he robbed one of the banks and there was a big shootout.
There was,
yes.
and the
I
James
only know
gang.
that from the movie.
That's right. The James gang got away, and so every year Northfield, Minnesota has their own Jesse James Festival where they try to capture the James gang.
Wow.
So they're already in the game with that. So we wanted to remind the Minnesotans to keep coming down here. We chose Prairie Village, Kansas, just because of the demographics and the size. 45 minutes away, it'd make a great staycation. And so in our travel guide, it has the information about the website. Like I said, we're going to do this app, which will have the information, the Welcome Center. We're pushing it through our own social media at the Chamber. We're trying every avenue with the radio station and newspapers, press releases, all that good kind of stuff.
There is so much going on in Kearney, and I can imagine families staying over, and all they'd have to do is look at the splash pad over there, and those kids are not going to want to leave.
Exactly.
I can assure you. That would be an exciting thing to do for young families.
And there's lots of shops and restaurants within walking distance of the splash pad.
And so you can stay nice and cool with something cool to drink and let the kids just splash themselves away.
That's right.
Stay with us, right? Are we shifting? Yep. Brian says, all right. So,
okay.
Thanks,
guys.
That went fast.
Come to the ribbon cutting Friday, 11:30, First Missouri Bank Northside parking lot.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Good seeing you, Stacie. Thanks for being on. Stay with us, folks. You're listening to Kearney Live. We'll be back with Terri Welk and Scott Cole from the Bicentennial Commission. We're going to talk about how they unearthed a milk can that leaked. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Love the programming? Say a special thank you to the underwriters like these who support KPGZ.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
Electric cooperatives are different. We have a sense of pride in our local community and support the people who live here. That's why Platte Clay Electric Cooperative supports local schools, takes an active role in economic development, and works hard to keep costs down for its members. We exist for one purpose, to empower communities and energize life with safe and reliable energy. To learn more about how Platte Clay Electric Cooperative is working to achieve that mission, visit www.pcec.coop. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative.
You may have noticed your shoulder hurting, or maybe a kink in your neck. The culprit may be looking right at you. Your phone. Think about how you use it. Does that pain feel familiar to you?
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Strathman with Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, and I've been practicing chiropractic health in Kearney for over 22 years. When you come to see me, I identify what's wrong and determine if I can help you. If I can, I create your personalized plan for relief.
When you have pain, you can make an appointment by calling 816-628-6738, or you can visit the office at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center. Heal yourself.
And welcome back to Kearney Live. We've got Scott Cole and Terri Welk from the Clay County Bicentennial Commission. And Scott, welcome to the show. Good seeing you.
Well, thank you very much.
It is my pleasure. It's good seeing you here. Brian got your level squared away there. There we go. And you and I met just, moments ago, it seems. And, right? And
it was a pleasure.
And indeed, the pleasure was all on this side of the table. Jim just dropping a line there from a funny movie. So, right. So here, let's just get right into this. You were part of the Bicentennial Commission that was, I guess, in large part responsible then for getting the time capsule.
Well,
unearthed, right?
It all started out by my association with the Clay County Archives and Historical Library. The Bicentennial Commission was looking for assistance in developing a plan for unveiling the old time capsule. So the archive stepped up with the committee. I was the chair of that committee, and that led to an appointment on the Bicentennial Commission and to eventually unveiling the time capsule.
And so you did. Now, the downside of it, and we're not trying to cast any sort of negative light on this thing, are we, Jim?
Can I ask a question before you get into that?
Well, I think you've already started. You might as well finish that.
That's
right.
the way I interrupt.
Yes.
No, Jim.
So
well done, Scott.
As we all know, the time capsule was opened after 50 years, correct?
That's correct.
Was that date identified to open it at 50 years by the people who put it there, or did the commission do that?
No, that was the original plan in 1972, and as a matter of fact, they appointed a committee of youngsters who were to oversee its opening 50 years later. Unfortunately, they were scattered to the wind, were not involved in the unveiling of it.
Or Or they were just irresponsible and didn't show up.
Well,
when you say scattered to the wind, you mean like dead?
No.
This is possible.
Well,
Well, sadly, in a couple of cases, yes.
Yeah,
But,
okay, yeah.
They had identified 12 or so youngsters, but most of them had moved on or expressed no interest in being involved again.
These irresponsible people.
Yeah.
Well, but the upshot of it all is that there was this wonderful time capsule that has been buried up next to the Clay County Courthouse, right? Or
next to the World War I soldier monument right there.
And we all were anticipating that this was going to be a very exciting unearthing, and we were to find out later that the contents were in an old milk can, as we knew, and they tried to seal the can as best they could with tar. And as it turned out, well, I'll let you take it from there, Scott.
Well, there's a little more to the story than that.
Of course there is.
The Bicentennial Commission originally wanted to make a public event out of the unveiling. I strongly advised against that, feeling that at the very least we were going to end up with water intruding into the milk can. As it turned out, they did a little too good a job of putting this together in 1972. The vault they created for the milk can, very solid, but it didn't have drainage. And the county employees thought it would be a good idea to coat the milk can with a liquid tar to preserve the contents. Unfortunately, by the time rainwater, groundwater got in there, it mixed with that liquid tar and something very close to crude oil. That was the final result.
And we see that on our
for
screen right there.
For those of you who are watching on KMO-TV, you can actually see
it's a mess
when they opened it up. And, well, I will say this. It wasn't like it was an Al Capone moment with Geraldo, because at least there was something in it.
Indeed.
So you got that. But can you...
We could have had an Al Capone moment if this had been a public unveiling. Our first attempt to even get the capstone off, just using manpower, went nowhere. So Trib Johnson, a very generous man, donated his services from Johnson Granite Supply, North Kansas City. They came in with a crane a week later, pulled the 800-pound capstone off of this, and the milk can being full of crude oil and artifacts, that also required that we use a crane to get it out. And at that point, it was taken down to the Clay County Archives, where we actually got into it, and it was obviously a moment of big disappointment.
Well, folks are probably wanting to know what was salvaged, and I believe you brought some things along. So there were some things salvaged.
Yeah, pretty much everything I could carry under one arm.
Okay.
We do have a number of photos of the event here, but, that's...
Right.
Let's get to the artifacts here.
Okay, so can you hold that up and kind of in front of the... so your camera's right here. There you go.
Yeah. A dollar bill. We had a few random coins. I didn't bring those in. There was nothing special about that. One newspaper article, which Tom Hake at the time was a newspaper delivery boy for the Liberty Tribune, and it was nice to salvage a little bit of that. A couple of photos. You just see shadow images. We don't have any idea.
Let me try to hold that up in front of my camera while you talk.
Yeah, if you would, and I can just talk about what you've got as you go through there. While you're doing that, I'll show you this. Probably one of the best artifacts.
So that's
there's the photos.
The photos you were talking about before. Let me get the studio light out of it.
Well, they've sort of sepia toned, I think, over the ages, but they were black and white photographs. So, which is not uncommon.
Most of what we pulled out of though were little packets of photographs. We're talking about the days before Ziploc baggies.
Yeah.
They were the simple fold-over baggies.
Okay.
So people would put photos in there. Unfortunately, the acid water just bleached the photos out. We pulled them out, and they were just white.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, but there are some interesting things in this notebook. If folks wanted to see this stuff, would there be a place that they could have a look?
Yes, it's on display every day at the Clay County Museum
There you go.
and Historical Society, which is on Main Street, right on the Liberty Square.
Yeah. Good to know.
They are open almost every day from about 9 to 4.
Outstanding. And this that you're about to show us was also in the leaky milk can.
Yes, this was a lot of the, at the time in 1972, a lot of the social groups and clubs.
Hold that up just kind of right in front of your face just for a second there. Just right, yeah.
Or do you want me to use
there
mine?
you go.
We're doing everybody a favor now.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's good enough. All right, now
Okay.
tell us about it.
Well, it's a group of, it was the Wednesday Bridge Club, agreed that they would wear period dress during the sesquicentennial celebration or be subject to fines. And it has a nice little tie to me because my wife's grandmother is listed on there as well as many of her friends that my wife knew. So that
How cool. Yes. And I see all the signatures on there. Yes.
they are.
That is very cool. And I mean, the odds that particular document survived is, seems interesting. Yeah.
We don't know why.
Yeah.
It was just in a plastic bag, and for some reason it stayed relatively clean.
It wasn't down at the bottom.
Well,
Yeah.
we had to piece it back together.
Oh, I
as
see.
You
Okay.
can see that. We also pulled out an American flag, which I have folded up over here, but it is just completely inundated in tar.
Mm-hmm.
We assume either the VFW or American Legion placed that, but we didn't have any records that came out.
I see.
One other neat item we pulled out was a complete leather mason's apron. But by the time we pulled it out, it was like wet cardboard, and it came to pieces.
Oh, what a shame. Yeah.
But inside that mason's apron was one of the sesquicentennial commemorative coins. They created one in bronze and one in silver and sold a limited number in 1972, but really pleased to see one of those come.
Yes, very cool. It's neat to see anything that you can, anything else what stood out to you, I guess would be my question.
Well, more than anything else, the disappointment.
Yeah.
But beyond that, obviously, my own ties to the document from the Wednesday Bridge Club was nice. But there have been some lessons learned. There is going to be a time capsule scheduled to be open in 2072.
Oh my, yeah.
But it's not going to be buried. It's going to be on open display, probably in the county courthouse somewhere. Though that's to be decided, as well as how we go about collecting artifacts for the new time capsule.
Right. I think one of the interesting things that as we reflected on this before the show, was that you and I are contemporaries, and we look back 50 years ago, and we were both teenagers, and you can look back on the history. Jim had mentioned earlier, and I think he was right, that 50 years by some perspectives is not very long at all. And he's absolutely right. But I think as a portion of our lives at the ages that we are now, it's a significant portion in our lives. And so we can look back on any number of things that over the course of 50 years have shifted just immensely.
Well, one thing that seems ironic to me, so many different forms of communication have arisen in the last 50 years. One of the hardest parts of being part of the Bicentennial Commission is, how do you get the word out to everybody? You've got 100 or more different, mediums to choose from. Facebook, Instagram, all this, I'm not even up on it. In 1972, you had community newspapers that everybody read. I think that made the celebration a lot more cohesive back then, certainly easier to get the word out to everybody. But that really, that was the stark difference that I noticed in between the 50-year span there.
I think there's an interesting dynamic, too, in that if you take a time capsule that was done, let's say in the 1800s or something like that, and you look at it now, it has a great deal of interest because there isn't a lot of photographic evidence from that time. There surely isn't video. But when you take things of now, everybody has a camera. Everybody has a video recorder, where in the 70s, I don't even know.
No,
the video camera hadn't even, if it was like the size of a room.
Right, and you sure couldn't put it in your pocket.
Because I know in TV news we were still using film.
Oh, yeah, everybody was still shooting Super 8.
So the time capsule, it almost, I don't know, it seems like the whole dynamic would change now because there's so much. Obviously, you don't want to open a time capsule and go, well, yeah, I've got 20 of those right here or something like that. Yeah. Where, a time if we were to find today a time capsule from the 1800s, I think that would be phenomenal because you're always finding stuff that we don't have.
Well, I think what happened a lot of the 1972 time capsule, based on the newspaper reports I read, not from what we pulled out, you had families that were communicating to their own families 50 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that's what we're going to encourage with the new one. It gets a lot easier, when you can throw a mountain of information on a flash drive and it only takes up a little bit of space.
Yeah.
And I'm going to encourage going that way.
You got to be careful with that because remember, we all thought the VHS tape was the end-all, be-all, and now nobody has them. Or cassette tapes, or the Beatles' White Album was on that little laser disc that we had, and nobody uses those anymore.
I would be willing to bet that someone's 8-year-old grandson will be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yes.
Sure they will.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And the other thing is, it's kind of funny because we were talking about this before we went on the air. There are a lot of time capsules out there, I'm sure, all over the country, or world for that matter, that people have just simply forgotten about. Because I know we talked about our high school class buried one, and then this actually prompted a bunch of us to go, where is it?
Nobody knows.
And nobody remembers where we put it. So
somebody is bound to know.
Well,
we just don't know where they are. Yeah. First, you got to find the person that knows. So yeah,
as was said earlier, that person's probably gone in the wind.
Yeah. It is exciting, though. I mean, to just put a little perspective on it, 1972, if I'm not mistaken, there was a playoff game at the old Municipal Stadium that the Chiefs. It was the longest ever, the longest played football game. Against Miami Dolphins.
Wasn't that Christmas of 1971?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
And I guess in one of the at the end, one of the few missed field goals by Jan Stenerud, I guess helped push the game into overtime, or it was whatever. The Chiefs lost that game. Unfortunately,
yes.
It was an AFC championship. That was a year before what we're talking about here. When that time capsule was buried, that game was played, and just 2 years before that, the Chiefs had won their very first Super Bowl. So from a sports standpoint, it does put it in some kind of perspective, and I think the things like this, events like this, buried time capsules, will kind of force you to look back and sort of measure in your own way how much things have changed, in our own lifetime.
Oh, that's very true. One thing I noticed, too, is going back to the 1972 celebration, the generation that put that together and made everything happen, these were people in their 30s and 40s. This time around, you're primarily got a lot of people in their 50s and 60s and even 70s putting this together.
Yes.
Despite all the different means of communication we have, it's hard to get people out to events these days. Sadly so.
That's true. I know what you're saying. I mean, people are busy, and my grandpa used to say you can't get 3 men to dig a ditch, and I thought, what's Grandpa mean? Mom? What is he talking about? I know. I mean, people are busy.
Well, and to give you a little more perspective on this, in the 1972 celebration, you had more than 500 participants and volunteers. I'm talking about participants and volunteers alone. Try raising a crowd of 500 to anything nowadays.
I know. I follow you. Yeah, I think people are, by and large, they're just so busy.
They are busy, plus, 5 minutes on Facebook or whatever, and a lot of people can learn all they want to know.
You know what else happened in 1972? I forgot about that.
Do tell.
KCI opened.
How about that?
November 21st, 1972.
Yes.
At a cost of $250 million for that whole airport.
Unbelievable. Wow.
I think the bathroom up in the new one costs more than that.
Which one of the three different varieties?
A bathroom?
Yes. No, we won't get into that.
Political commentary. I just showed your colors here. I think that's all right, though. You're welcome here. Yes, indeed.
Isn't it about time for Terry?
Well, Terry will be joining us here. Yeah.
Trying to bail, are you?
Do we want to take a break, or are we going to? You guys just want to switch chairs off camera here? Let's go ahead. Okay, let's get Terry in here. Thanks for being with us too, by the way, Scott.
Well, thank you so much. And what you guys are doing here, community radio. What a great thing that you're doing for Kearney, and boy, doesn't Stacie Bratcher do a great job.
Yes, she does.
She got me ready to move up here. Right?
Well, come on.
All we have is radio-free Moscow and Liberty.
Stacie, oh, good God.
All right, I'm out of here before I get canceled.
We appreciate you, Scott. Thanks for being with us. All right, and we're going to get Terri Welk up here. She's going to talk about more about this, the Bicentennial Commission's unearthing of the tar-covered milk can, which has produced a handful of items that most of which are really interesting. And unfortunately, well, the ones that survived are very interesting. The ones that didn't, we don't know if they're interesting or not because they don't exist.
So the worst part is tomorrow I have to go see Stacie at an event. Well, I think you'll be there too. I know Brian will be. And now I got to listen to how great she is because he...
Well, I'm not sure where you're going with that.
I'm just saying, it's hard enough to deal with her greatness as it is. And now
you don't want to be overshadowed by Stacie's greatness because you're kind of a big deal.
That is absolutely
there you go.
Correct.
Of course. Yes.
I'm also trying to stall while
I got you. I know, because Terry's in here. Terry, are you ready for us?
I suppose.
You should. Well, let Brian switch over to you. Let's get you. Let's make sure that you've got a little bit of a sound check here, and we're going to do this on the fly. Look at you. Welcome to the show. That's Terri Welk.
Hello.
Hello yourself. Good seeing you here, and you're a part of this whole Bicentennial Commission. Tell us your perspective on the whole unveiling of this.
The unveiling of the time capsule was a huge effort for people like Scott, who really pitched in and helped us navigate through the whole event. His suggestion to, do it in advance was obviously wisdom.
Smart move. Yes. Yeah, from the looks of things.
But it was disappointing, and as far as the things not being in any kind of condition that could be preserved,
right?
Very well preserved.
Now, how did you get involved in the commission?
I got involved in the commission, and the last few years I've been pretty involved in just kind of local politics with Clay County. Mm-hmm. Not in politics, but just very active as far as like in the audit commission, which was, getting an audit of the county from the state auditor. So I was involved in that way.
Good for you.
Also, I've lived in the county for most of my life, so not quite as long. I don't have the history that Scott's family does, but have lived here since the early 60s.
Yeah.
So I got involved in it in that way, and one of the things that I'm involved in on the commission, not just the time capsule, was not really something I was terribly involved in, except just to be at the event and to promote our, we have a photo contest going on that's part of the Bicentennial Celebration this year.
Yes, very cool.
And we have, I think, on the screen perhaps.
Yep, Brian's got it up there.
On.
Yep.
Yeah. So the photo contest is sponsored by the Courier, or they're hosting it. The Courier Tribune is hosting the contest, and we are encouraging everyone to pick up their own clay at the Mid-Continent Public Library locations in Clay County. And they've been kind enough to allow us to have those items there that they can pick up, and I have one right here.
Okay.
And these are things that we handed out at the time capsule event. So, really wanting it to be a family-focused type event, and also just to get people encouraged to go out and visit the historic sites in our county. And then on the back is, of course, the little QR code, so we're trying to be, up with, I guess, actually QR codes aren't really a thing or have
Well,
come back.
they actually are.
because the pandemic, I think.
Well, there is a
brought it back.
resurgence. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so, but this was,
and they've been improved. Yeah.
They have, but this
Yes.
one, this works well. We've worked with the Courier Tribune to host the contest.
Okay, I want to stop you because the
Yes.
clay, when you said you want people to pick up their own clay, you weren't saying literally come and scoop up with your hands the Clay County soil. We're not talking about that.
No,
This little guy is hold that up, Jim, and there you go. The cartoon character, the icon, his name is Clay.
His name is Clay, and
Right.
he was developed by our presiding commissioner, Jerry Nolte.
Who is a very talented artist, and Jerry and I went to high school together, and we sat in the same art class with with Barry Kennedy. Yes, back at Oak Park High School. Yes.
But Jerry designed Clay for us, and we have had his unveiling was at the birthday party that started off in February this year. And everyone is encouraged to have their photos taken, submit them through the link that's accessible on the back through the QR code, or at the mycouriertribune.com and the bicentennial contest.
So the strategy behind this is just to get as many people involved as possible.
Get people out and about,
Yes.
encourage family-friendly type events. There are prizes awarded to every month now through the end of October. And then in October, we will have a grand prize of $200. So every month we're awarding 2 gift cards of $50. And
Very nice.
then at the end, it's a $200 grand prize.
So the grand prize for $200 would probably fill up my truck with gas, right?
Oh, perhaps,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of the photos that we've had are with kids and their parents. So we're just wanting people to get out and see the different historic sites.
Yes, that is exciting.
Do you-
And go ahead, Jim.
When you take a picture with Clay, is it supposed to be in Clay County?
Preferably. I mean, that's really the intent, was just to get people to, take him out and about when they're visiting different places in the county. It doesn't have to be a historic site. It could also be something you go up to the lake, you're at the golf course, you're at the library. We're trying to encourage tourism in Clay County, which was one of the purposes of our commission.
So if I go swimming with this, will it hold up in the lake?
Well, you can sure give it a try.
I'll give it a whirl.
I would say you could double it as a fan. It reminds me of the old fans in the church pews.
And that's actually the intent, is so we're passing them out this summer at different events.
Yes.
So people can, stay cool. But also we just want people to know about all of the things about our county and get out and about.
Where would people go to find out historical places in Clay County?
Well, they are actually listed on the claycountymo.gov website.
There you go.
And for some of the events this summer have been held at those. I know the Atkins Johnson farm in Gladstone, I think their event ends on the 25th this month, but they've had several different bicentennial presentations throughout the summer.
Yes.
I know there's also something at the Ferris Farm coming up on June the 25th. Where they're doing I think it's called a Picking on the Porch and art at the Ferris Farm. So just get people to get out and see these different sites, and you'll find Clay there. So also just the list of sites, though, as I mentioned, are on the claycountymo.gov website.
Right. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of them.
Yes, there
And
are.
in fact, I noticed too that on the Visit Kearney website, when we had Stacie in here a little while ago, they had there were photos on there, Brian, of some of the different historic places to visit, and so tons of opportunity to find your way around Clay County. And we talk about the 50-year can, the capsule, milk can is what it was literally, but we're talking 200 years. That this county is celebrating a 200th anniversary, which is just now that's a lot of time, and near as I can tell, nobody around here that's 200 years old. That's a long time. So, yeah. Brian says we're getting close to the end here. What else can you help tell us?
One other item I wanted to highlight is this weekend is the Juneteenth celebration. It's the 22nd annual for Clay County Juneteenth celebration. It kicks off on Friday evening at 6 p.m. on Main Street in Liberty. And then there's a parade involved, and it ends at Garrison School. Then the next day on Saturday, the celebration continues at 9 a.m., and it's a dedication of the Legacy Memorial at Fairview Cemetery. and there's a barbecue that follows. Excuse
How
me.
about
There's
that?
a barbecue
Yeah.
that follows. So
I love the sound of the barbecue. Yeah. Yeah.
So like to see people get out and participate in that event.
All right. Well, Terri, thank you for your hard work and all the work you've done for Clay County and being a part of the Bicentennial Commission. I know it's a neat thing. Jim, who's going to be here next week?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Mike. Dina Johnson, is that right? Dina Johnson is going to be here, and she is from Heart and Soul CPR, and we are going to learn, for those of you who don't remember, how to do CPR and some other neat stuff about that.
She will give Jim mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
I was kind of hoping you would. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week right here on Kearney Live.